Thea Realty and Finance is a one-stop shop. We do it all from loan, real estate, property management, credit fix, and credit rescore, and so much more. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate, including homes, businesses, or commercial real estate, Johnson Hormoz can guide you through the process. If you're looking for a loan, including purchase loan, refinance, FHA, VA, investment, DSCR, hard money, W-2 only, bank statement, stated income, reverse mortgage, and so many other loan programs, give Johnson Hormoz a call. With over 17 years of experience and several hundreds of successful transactions, he can guide you through the process. If you have no credit, bad credit, bankruptcy, foreclosure on your credit report, let Johnson Hormoz help you to get your loan.
Let me coach you to success. Your success is my goal.
DRE number 017-68924. NMLS number 264726.
درنشلم البنيوم تيموغي بخ خورزخي تودي بياي شارخلا إن من قم خورز دوديان شارخلا حكمدان بقار بقرتون و إتاني بزاف بخلون خارطلب تعزاخن الخورز دوديو بقار قام تقد بقرتون و بس بالانس ترانسفری و قد الكريدت كارت أخون بالانس ترانسفری من وای لغزی من اختون وایتون الخاکارت خورز دینانتون إتعادية كارت أو interest rate أولو وایله تكوت يرخى اختون قدريا بهريا بتون قدريا انترستيا بتون قاتو ايتا كمسيتون خدنا كريدت كارت خينا بتخيتون ايتا او مدولدو كريدت كارت اكل ادينا يبيتون لي خارتا قد ادينا يولو خون الدو كريدت كارت خاتا قد توصتانا خن بزيرو انترست قاتو خون مديا ولا زوزيا ولا امسيتون سيفينغ يولو خون قد رابا انترست لا يبيتون كما من ديان اتنقد ادانت اشولا وعدوتون yer consideroditun خزيتون كما دانانه مثلا بخريت التخيابنا كما تشارج وعدو خنا كما في اتلون قد اهان قد يوخ اشولا قد يوخ نوديله خامن دي خيت قد yer consideroditun ايلا قد ام بي ايتون ترانسفير اوديتون له ان تناخن قد توس اختون من بانكيتلو قد توس تنام تشيستلو خن اختون كريدت كارد لمسيتون خك کارت خینا من چیز پت خیتون ترانسفر رو دیدن یر خدانه خبان که خینا اوه امن دیرا و انن قایل قد خک من شو وقتی بی تأخیر کارت تأخوخ کارت مرالم سیتون ترانسفر رو دیدن ابو قراخی تقد بقروتون و ایو بسید پرسونال لون یا هیلاک بقروتون امن بوس بایله ادی تناخ نختون زوز لازم آخونینا بیاتون زوز شغلیتون به هر دلیلی بیاتون بزنس بتخیتون خدانه تناخ ماشین زونیتون خشولا بیاتون زوز لازم آخونا اومدید قد ایله خب for sure هیلاک ریتو بوش التختویا من تناخ پرسونال لون چون هیلاک وایل سیرا البته خ تناخ خ سکیوریتی تنق بانکا قد الون قطوخون یابوله اینا مای بخیت ده پرسونال لون فقط الکردیت خون سیرله ادوانتاجت لقد نشقت بیتلت لون یا مثلا لابوشون ای دنا یویله بخنا او بیته جو جپردی لیبه پس هیلاک ریتو بوش التخیله اینا at the same time ریسکو بوش رابولا اینا پرسونال لون تناخن ریتو بوش اولولیلا اینا ریسکو بوش خطی لقطو خون ابو قراخی تقد بقروتون و ایوه قد اول خلاب سپای قد بیایتون خاکری کارت پتخیتون مویله زمین اختون که سری قد اپلای وعدتون که خدانه تناخن بیایتون کری کارت پتخیتون اکردیتو خون هیت فایله یعنی ران وعدون اکردیتو خون کردیت سکورو خون بسالیا ایتا هایارت قد اشولا لعوه کم سیتون سرچ ودیتون رابا عادیه ان كريدت كومباني يعاون كريدت قد من قام اختون ابلاي وديتون تشيك وخسري بقار باقرونا من نوخون تشيك ود نمر كريدت كارد بيويل قاتوخون يلي يويل ان لي يويل خنا ابلاي لاديتون ان هاير تبعنا من قام اختون ابلاي وديتون مرنا قد كريدت كارد بيويل خون يلي يويل خون ادان قد مرنا كريدت بيويل خون اختون ابلاي واتون ادان تخنا كريدت خون ران ودنا لازم له لك سری كريدت خون ران ويا چون ایمن کردیت خون ران وایل اختین کردیت اسکورو خون سلایلا خا بقارا خیتا قد بقرتون و منی رابا کتانی مندن بقار لقد ساتون لجوابتو ای وقت عادية جدا دانت عادية إلى سبايدانا غزوانتا يجر سبرخ هیچ نشلیل بودا قد مبدویا اینا اومندید قد ایله based all the need data قد بیتاین based all inventory قد تنتظر يعني كما بتواتن all market كما زونان اتن all market عادية إلى سبايدانا غزوانتا even though rate أولولينا اینا دیمان حلالنا خخت رابا سیقه چون این ریت سالی دیمان بتیسقی هدیت ازاخین آل پشانت خورز دودیان ودیو اتلان خا ارخق لخا تی لغاتن بتهمزم هدیت طالبخ منو قد یعنو قدیان introduce عبد له خارتا پشانت خورزم تازخ له. Hi Ron.
Hello.
Would you please introduce yourself for our audience?
Hi, my name is Ron Ricard. I work for a company called Investment Property Exchange, or IPX 1031, and our job is to help you do 1031 exchanges.
How long you been doing this?
Almost 22 years now. Longer than you've been in real estate.
Oh, wow. That's a really long time.
Yep.
I already, talked about, exchange a little bit, just very, light. But please tell us, our audience, what is exchange? What is 1031 exchange? What is overall?
Okay, so 1031 is part of the tax code. It's the part of the tax code, has been part of the tax code for over 100 years. So it's very well known. And it's where you sell investment real estate and buy other investment real estate. And in doing so, you get to defer paying taxes on the profit that you've made. So for example, you have a rental house. You want to sell that and buy a fourplex. So you call Johnson, he lists the house for you. When escrow closes, you are required to use what's called a third-party intermediary, and that's what we do. So when escrow closes, the money from the sale actually comes to us. You then have a certain time window to find a new property. Then we send the money to the title company or closing attorney on that side. So you're selling investment real estate, you're buying investment real estate, and because you didn't touch the money, because we had it, you get to defer paying taxes on the profit that you've made.
Okay. Is there any place, because I get a lot of questions, people, they want to cut the corners on exchange. I always tell them, this is very dangerous because IRS, keep checking them. Can you a little bit, talk about that?
Well, it depends what kind of corners you're asking about, obviously. I mean, the most important thing to realize in an exchange is the timeline. And that's one probably where most people would like to play, adjust a little bit, let's just say that. And so what's important to know is that from the day escrow closes, from the day you actually sell the property, you need to know what you're going to buy within 45 days. Now, you have 180 days, almost 6 months to close the escrow, but you need to know what you're going to buy within those first 45 days. And we do have clients frequently asking, well, can we extend those or can we change it after the 45 days? And the answer is no. The IRS is very strict about this. You need to be able to give us a list of properties. Most people identify a list of up to 3 properties, but you have to buy from that list. So really what it means is you need to be in contract by that 45 days. Now again, you have 6 months to close the escrow, but unless you're buying new construction or a big commercial project, that's usually not the issue. The 45-day clock is far and away the most important one, but as you say, Johnson, these are not corners that you want to cut, because if you get audited, then the very first thing they will look at is your identification. Make sure you identified properly in time and to a third party like us, which is how you're supposed to do it.
Okay, it's a good chance they will get audited.
Well, I mean, especially in California, because the Franchise Tax Board is another set of eyes. So it's not just the IRS, it's also the Franchise Tax Board. And while we don't think just because you're doing an exchange is more likely to make you be audited, it's another thing for them to look at. And I have had many clients in the past who've called me up and said, hey, I'm being audited, I need my paperwork and I can't find it, so we send them their paperwork. So again, is it make you more likely to be audited? I don't know, but it definitely does happen. And again, in California, the Franchise Tax Board is just as, if not more likely, to audit you than the IRS is.
Okay. It's better it's to play with the rule, basically.
Yeah, you don't play with the rules, because the penalties are very strict, are very damaging.
Okay. Just, give us a little bit more details,
Sure.
exactly when they will start the process, what is the process, and when it's end.
Right. So again, you're going to list if you want to do an exchange, you're going to sell the property just like a regular sale. You're going to find a nice real estate agent like Johnson. They're going to list the property for you. Once you're in contract with a buyer, that's when we get involved. We have to be involved before escrow closes. Once escrow closes, that starts that 45-day clock. Now, the good news is, and this is a very misunderstood term, you often will hear 1031 exchanges be referred to as like-kind exchanges. And that term like-kind is very confusing. But it's any kind of investment real estate for any other kind of investment real estate. So you can sell a rental house and buy a commercial office building. You can sell an apartment building and buy a farm. You could even sell bare land and buy investment property. And you can sell one and buy multiple properties. You can sell multiple properties and buy one. So it's much more flexible than most people think. Also, 1031 is a federal law, so you can go anywhere in the country. You can sell in Florida, buy in California. You can sell in California and buy in Texas. So you can exchange anywhere in the country. The rules are the same, and you are deferring both state and federal taxes no matter where you buy. So it's much more flexible than most people think in buying property. The other part that confuses a lot of people is how much money you need to spend when it comes to the 1031. And the answer, though, is very simple: all of it. So whatever you sell the property for, you need to buy equal or greater to that amount to defer all your taxes. There's a lot of people think you can subtract the loan, or you only need to exchange the profit, or no, everything. If the property sells for $1 million, then you need to buy for $1 million. Can you buy for more than $1 million? Yes. Can you buy multiple properties that add up to $1 million? Yes. Can you buy for less than $1 million? The answer is yes, but you pay tax on the difference. So if you sell for $1 million, only buy something for $900,000, then that $100,000 difference is referred to as boot. Boot is what you pay tax on. But as a rule, if you don't want to pay any taxes, then you want to buy equal or greater in value.
Okay, that's a key. Equal or greater.
Equal or greater, exactly. Yes.
Okay. When they do exchange, there's so many questions comes, but it's basically just a regular, transaction.
You're selling something and you're buying something, exactly.
You're buying something. I get this question a lot, from people. If we do exchange, like, they're buying they're buying, rental property. Can they move into that rental property?
The answer is 1031 has to be investment real estate for investment real estate. So what kind of real estate is not investment? Well, obviously, property that's for your personal use, your primary residence. Also, a second home does not qualify. Now, most people think, well, I don't have a second home, but you have a house or a condo or something that you're letting your children live in. Well, guess what? That's still considered to be a second home. If they're not paying market rate rent to the IRS, that's not an investment property. Also, you cannot do a 1031 exchange on flips, where you buy something, fix it up, and sell it. That's not considered to be investment real estate. Now, the question you asked, Johnson, about can I buy a property that ultimately I want to live in? And the answer is yes. Now, how long? You have to treat the property as an investment before you can move in is not addressed directly in the tax code. Most accountants recommend at least 2 years as a rental before you change the use of the property, but that's something you definitely want to discuss with your own accountant, your own tax professional, because the key is you need to buy the property with the intention, that's the magic word, the intention of the property being an investment. So, usually after a couple of years, the IRS doesn't care nearly as much, but you definitely want to be buying the property as a rental, as an investment when you buy it.
Okay. And there's another question I get a lot. They say, if they have a property which they're living in it and they convert that to the rental property, how long they need to have it rental so they can do exchange?
So let's kind of break that into two pieces. Can a property be both an investment property and a primary residence at the same time? The answer is yes, and there are a couple of ways to do it. So for example, a duplex. You live in one side, rent out the other. Maybe you have an ADU. Right now, a lot of people are building ADUs. So you have an ADU or you rent out the basement. So if there's a portion of your property that you are already treating like a rental property, or maybe in your case, Johnson, you might have a home office. So if you have a percentage of your house that you are declaring to the IRS as your home office, then that percentage of your house can qualify now for 1031. So again, so property can be both if you are showing at the same time that you live in the property and part of it is being used for business purpose or rental purpose, and that's how you're declaring it to the IRS. The truth is most people don't have a property that way. Most people, they either live in the property or they rent out the property. So and in some areas, like here in the Bay Area, we have a lot of people whose profit on their primary residence is more than what's called the exemption. So make sure we all understand this. This law changed back in 1997. Before 1997, when you sold your primary residence, as long as you kept buying a more expensive house, you didn't have to pay taxes. Well, in 1997, that changed. Now, when you sell your primary residence, you get an automatic exemption. If you're single, you get to keep the first $250,000 of profit tax-free. If you're married, you get to keep $500,000 of profit tax-free. If your gain is more than that, then you pay tax on what's called that excess gain. So if you bought the house for $400,000, now it's worth $2 million. You have a $1.6 million gain in the property and you're married, you would get to keep the first $500,000, but have to pay tax on the other $1.1 million. So a common thing people do in the Bay Area and in other highly appreciated places is they move out. Turn your house into a rental property. Now, after you've been renting out the house for a couple of years, and I'll come back to that in just a second, now that property is a rental property. You've been declaring it for a couple of years as a rental, but here's the important thing. It also still qualifies as a primary residence because you still meet the criteria of having lived in the property 2 of the last 5 years, because the tax code definition of primary residence is 2 of the last 5 years. So if you sell the property today, you look back at the last 5 years. Did I live in the property during 2 of those years? And I mean 24 months, 2 full years. If the answer is yes, you could take advantage of both tax rules at the same time. So you can sell the property, let's say that same property sells for $2 million, you get to pocket $500,000, and then you can do an exchange for the remaining $1.5 million.
Well, you don't have to go all the way to.
You don't have to go you don't have to go all the way because you get to keep that $500,000, or if you're single, the first $250,000. Now note, this does not work for everybody. If you need the money from your house to go buy a bigger house, it's not going to work. But if you have another place to live, or you can buy another property, or maybe you're moving to a retirement community, this is a very common strategy people have. Now, in answering your initial question, finally, how long do you have to rent the property for? Again, the tax code doesn't give us a number. The tax code doesn't say that you have to rent it for a specific amount of time. When the IRS told us that we could do this, they used an example of 2 years, but very importantly, they did not say it had to be 2 years. So we know 2 years is safe. Most accountants I talk to say 1 to 2 years. Again, discuss it with your with your tax professional, with your accountant, but most of them will say 1 to 2 years as rental before you can sell it and take advantage of this.
It all comes to the magic word, intention.
Intention, exactly. Exactly. And the longer you do something, the easier it is to prove your intent.
Yeah, exactly. One more question I get a lot, when they do exchange, is it better to happen the same tax year?
Oh, good. That's a very good question. When it comes to an exchange, it has to be reported in the year you sold your property. So right now we're in 2023. So if you sell your property in December 2023, but only buy your replacement property in 2024, that's okay. But it has to be reported as part of your 2023 tax return. So you need to finish the exchange before you can file your taxes for the year. Okay. So if come April 15th, which is normally the day we have to file our taxes, if for some reason you haven't if you sold your property, let's say in December, and come April 15th, you still haven't finished buying your new property yet, you'll need to file for an extension so that you're able to finish the exchange before you do your tax reporting for the year.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week, and we do another session. Let me just talk to my audience, and so we'll continue next week.
Please.
أبيتم باسم ابن تموقع بقد خرزودي انجش خلاخون نبی لخون خبو قارا ایمیل دی اطلاخون تکسی شماری اطلاخون کم سیتن زیگه من خیتون لی تکس من خیتون لی خدو تبو قارا خون زیاد بخلون أبيتم باسمه.
Bethia Realty and Finance is a one-stop shop. We do it all from loan, real estate, property management, credit fix, and credit rescore, and so much more. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate, including homes, businesses, or commercial real estate, Johnson Hormoz can guide you through the process. If you're looking for a loan, including purchase loan, refinance, FHA, VA, investment, DSCR, hard money, W-2 only, bank statement, stated income, reverse mortgage, and so many other loan programs, give Johnson Hormoz a call. With over 17 years of experience and several hundreds of successful transactions, he can guide you through the process. If you have no credit, bad credit, bankruptcy, foreclosure on your credit report, let Johnson Hormoz help you to get your loan.
Let me coach you to success. Your success is my goal.
DRE number 017-68924. NMLS number 264726.